The NHL season is finally back, guys. 16 teams will make the NHL playoffs. Will your favorite team win the Stanley Cup? Let's find out. All right, guys, we are on Tier Maker here for my predictions. Let's do this, baby. Let's check out the categories here. We have Atlantic make playoffs. We have Metropolitan make playoffs. We have East wildcard. We have East miss playoffs. We have Central make playoffs. Pacific make playoffs. West wildcard. Then West miss playoffs. Make sure to play along with me down below in the comments. Comment down below who will make the playoffs, who will make the playoffs, who will win the Stanley Cup, and how will your team do this next season, baby. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe already down there. Let's do this, baby. Let's start with the Atlantic make playoffs here, guys. I'm gonna say first in the Atlantic division here, guys, is gonna be the Toronto Maple Leafs. I like what they've done in the offseason. They have some superstars on the team. Obviously, defensively, they did get worse. Goaltending is still a question mark, but you can't really bet against Austin Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Morgan Riley. You can't bet against these guys. Some trades might happen. Who knows? I still think they're the best in this very tough division. I gotta go Toronto number one. I know you guys are not gonna like that because there's a lot of Toronto haters in the NHL. Let's go to number two here, guys. Honestly, kind of bold here. It's kind of hard to predict this division right now, but I'm gonna go with the Florida Panthers at number two, guys. I think this team is really, really good. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Obviously, end up losing to the Golden Knights, but they still have a good team. Yes, they are in some injury trouble. Ekblad is kind of hurt. Kachuk is kind of hurt as well, but he should be starting the NHL season, which is nice. So I like this team. If Bobrovsky can stay hot, this team will definitely make the playoffs. And I think second in the Atlantic is definitely calling their name, but I'm just predicting Bobrovsky is going to stay solid this season. Number three here is very, very tough. A lot of question marks, but I got to go with the Boston Bruins, guys. I know they aren't as good of a team as they were last year. Obviously, they broke all the records last year. They're not going to do that again. I still think they have a good enough roster led behind Pastrnak, Marchand, McAvoy, maybe Swayman or Olmark can do what they did before. I still think they can get to third in the Atlantic Division. It's going to be a worse season, but still a successful season for the Bruins. Let's go to the Metropolitan Division now. All right, guys, the Metropolitan here is pretty damn easy in my opinion. The first one has got to be the Carolina Hurricanes. It's either them or the Devils. They're clearly top two in this division, even probably top three in the NHL. These teams are that damn good. So Hurricanes got to be number one. I like this team. If they're healthy, this team is definitely a team to beat, in my opinion, to win the Stanley Cup. So this team is nasty. Hopefully Anderson or Kochetkov can stay healthy and bring this team back to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's what I'm predicting. Number one is the Hurricanes. That means number two is going to have to be the New Jersey Devils, guys. This team is unreal. Best top six in the NHL is definitely a possibility there. Goaltender is a big issue. Vanacek or Schmid, we don't know which of these goalies are going to take over the crease. I think Vanacek is going to start off, but I do think Schmid is going to take over that crease halfway through the season. But Devils, man, they're just so good. Super young, super fast, super good. Hughes is going to have another big year, and I think the Devils are definitely going to be number two. Maybe can sneak up to number one. And this third one here is honestly pretty easy as well. I'm going to say it's the New York Rangers. This team is the third best in this division for sure. They have a really good roster, man. Panarin, hopefully he can do it in the playoffs because he's not been doing that at all. But Zibanejad, Kreider, you still have Shesterkin, you still have Adam Fox. This team is definitely a team to be watching out for. So Rangers, number three. I don't think that's much of a debate. Let's go to the East wild card here, guys. This is where it got kind of tough here, guys, because there's a lot of good teams fighting for these last two positions. You got Pittsburgh, you got Islanders, you got Buffalo, you got Lightning, you got the Senators, maybe Detroit. There's a couple teams here going to be fighting for these last two spots, but I'm going to have to give it to the Tampa Bay Lightning getting this first wild card position in the Eastern Conference. I think the Lightning, they have what it takes. Vasilevsky's going to be hurt for the first, 2 months of the season. That's definitely going to hurt them, and they're definitely going to have to be coming up. They're going to definitely have a good end of the season to make the playoffs here, but I do think they could do it. So Lightning, they're that good. They actually have some rest this offseason, so maybe that will give them a boost towards the end of the season. We'll see. But now the second team, the last wild card, is going to be the very, very tough pick here. But I'm going to go bold here and say the Buffalo Sabres are going to snag the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference and make the playoffs for the first time in a long time and go on a run, maybe. I think the Sabres are a good team, very young team, but I think Dahling's going to take the next step again. Thompson is going to keep doing his thing. This team is really, really good. Goaltender, it's going to have to be Levi or Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Who knows? I think they have what it takes. Obviously, it's very, very bold. I could think Pittsburgh could do it. Islanders could definitely do it. I obviously hope the Penguins will do it, but I just think the Sabres are going to end up doing it. So that is my Eastern Conference. Make the playoffs, guys. All right, guys, let's start here with the Western Conference. Let's go into the Central Division here, guys. I feel like this is pretty easy. This is probably the worst division in the NHL this year. But number one is going to have to be the Dallas Stars, guys. This team is so deep, so skilled. This team is unreal. Obviously, they do have a couple injuries. Hintz is, I think, has an injury going into the season, but he is an unreal player, and hopefully they can get him back completely healthy. I think Andre is going to have an unreal season because he did not perform like we know he can in the playoffs last year. So I think he's going to have a bounce back here. This team got more depth. Pavelski's going to keep locking in. They still have Duchesne now. Robertson is here. This team is unreal, guys. So Stars are honestly might be the top 3 in the NHL. Number 2 in this division is going to be pretty damn obvious, guys. That's got to be the Colorado Avalanche. This team is unreal. We all know, obviously, Landeskog is not going to be playing the whole year. So it's going to be a little tough there, but obviously they have McKinnon. They still have Rantanen, and hopefully Makar can still do his thing. Back end, goaltender might be an issue here, guys. Francouz, don't know if I love him, but we'll see how they could do there. But yeah, Avalanche are still a good team. They're definitely going to be making playoffs. And now this third team in the Central is always very tough, but I got to give it to the Wild. Obviously, I still don't like this team. I don't love the roster here in Minnesota. Spurgeon is out for week to week, I think I heard. So that is definitely a tough loss for them after losing Dumbo as well. So this team is going to be low on the back end, but I still think this team is probably the third best in the Central Division. It's very tough. There's a lot of question mark teams in the Central Division. So I got to go with the Minnesota Wild. Let's go to the Pacific Division here, guys. Is the Stanley Cup champs going to be number 1? I'm going to say no, guys. I'm going to say it's the Edmonton Oilers, guys. They're just built for the regular season. This team did get better in the offseason as well. Connor Brown, hopefully he can produce top 6 numbers like we know he can. Obviously, he came off a huge injury, so we'll see what happens there. But obviously, we know McDavid. We know Draisaitl. Maybe is Nugent Hopkins going to put up 100 again? How is Bouchard going to do? How can Darnell Nurse step up to his cap hit? Probably not, but we'll see if he can. I just think the Oilers are really good. Obviously, goaltenders, Campbell, Stuart Skinner, can they produce? Like, they need them to. We'll see what happens there. Then I'm going to show the Stanley Cup champions, guys, the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm actually going to their home opener for their banner raising, so I'll definitely show you guys that in a short or something like that later on. But Knights, they're obviously a good team. They have a lot of depth. Can Adin Hill perform like he did in the playoffs? I'm going to say no. I think goaltenders do that a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but it happens. It happened with Bennington, happened with Matt Murray with Pittsburgh. They get hot in the playoffs, and they cannot recreate that later on in their career. And I think Adin Hill is going to be exactly like that. But good thing they have Logan Thompson. I think he's a very good goaltender. I think he takes over the crease midseason. Okay, guys. Third in the Pacific Division, guys, is going to be the Los Angeles Kings. I really do like this roster. I like Pierre-Luc Dubois. I love what he does, what he brings to the Kings here. But the goaltender issue is big in the Kings camp, guys. Phoenix Copley and Cam Talbot, I believe, are the goaltenders, and that is not a good goalie duo. Hopefully Talbot can maybe produce like he did back in Minnesota, but last year in Ottawa, he was not himself. So maybe he brings it back, but it is not looking too good for the Kings. Goaltender issue there, but still really good team. West Wildcard here, the last two is very tough, but I'm going to have to go Seattle Kraken. I don't like what they did in the offseason. They lost a couple of players. Carson Soucy, big loss in my opinion, but they don't have a superstar goal scorer. Yes, you could say Beniers is really good. I get it. But is McCann really going to put up 40 goals again? I think he's definitely getting 30. Can he get 40? I don't know. But this team has a lot of depth. I got to give it to them there. But they need someone to take the leap. Maybe it's Beniers. He is a stud, so we'll see what happens there. But the last one in this division that will make the wild card, guys, it's between the Predators. Vancouver, honestly, I think they're really good. And the Jets, guys. I think these two are the 3 teams that are going to be making it. I think the Predators are going to sneak up. I like what they did in the offseason. I like their free agent signings. Ryan O'Reilly, hopefully he can bring them to the promised land, back to the playoffs. And I think the Predators do make it. Obviously, that means Buffalo. Obviously, that means the Ducks miss. Coyotes miss. I do like the Coyotes. Make sure to check out my division standings so you can talk about these teams, guys. I will be talking about them. Chicago, will Bedard do it? I don't think so. Sharks are going to be brutal. Blues are going to barely miss out. Canucks, I like their team, but I think they're missing out. Jets, I just don't know about them. And the Flames, who knows about them? They do have a good roster, though. But that is my playoff predictions, guys. Comment down below. How do you like it? I think it's pretty damn solid. Comment down below. Let's have a conversation about yours. So thank you so much for being here, guys. It really does mean a lot for you guys being here. I'm back. Sorry, guys. There's some stuff going around that I really it's just very unfortunate. But thank you guys for being here. Much love. I'll see you guys later. Be great.